5 NBA players that were hated by teammates and their own fans. The relationship between NBA teammates and their fans is a delicate one, to say the least. One week you could be the talk of the town and beloved by everyone involved in the organization, and the next, you could be the most hated player in the arena, whose days are numbered inside the locker room. Whether it's for on-court issues, their struggles adapting to new environments, or personal troubles, hate is easy to spot in the NBA. For 82 games a year, and more if you make the postseason, you're surrounded by people who are either a member of your band of brothers or are only out for themselves. There is no indifference in the NBA stands or inside NBA locker rooms. There's hate, there's fistfights, and in this day and age, there's social media fights. It happens in sports, but there were some players who were hated more than others for who they were or how they acted. Today, let's take a look at 5 recent NBA players who are unpopular with their fans and despised by their teammates. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you never miss another interesting video from us. 5. Kwame Brown, Los Angeles Lakers. In the defense of Brown's teammates, it wasn't easy to not like this guy. Kwame was lazy, unfocused, and refused to ever become the player he certainly had the potential to be. Kobe Bryant best exemplified why Brown was so disliked among his teammates during a 2011 interview with The Washington Post when discussing a game against the Pistons in the 2007-08 season. So I'm surrounded by these players, Detroit players, and Kwame is under the basket all by himself. Literally, like all by himself. So I pass him the ball. He bobbled it and it goes out of bounds. So we go back to the timeout and I'm upset, right? He goes, "I was wide open." Yeah, I know. This is how I'm talking to him, like during the game. I said, "You're going to be open again, Kwame, because Rashid is just totally ignoring you." He said, "Well, if I'm open, don't throw it to me." I was like, "Huh?" He said, "Don't throw it to me." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Well, I'm nervous. If I catch it and he foul me, I won't make the free throws." I said, "Hell no." In the words of William Carver, weakness, incompetence. It puts us all at risk. At least the Lakers got Pau Gasol out of trading Kwame. Needless to say, the crowds weren't fans either. 2. Gilbert Arenas, Washington Wizards. One of the more colorful characters in NBA history, Gilbert Arenas was an unfortunate reminder of what went wrong in the Wizards' locker room. In December 2009, Arenas and teammate Javaris Crittenton reportedly unloaded guns in the Wizards' locker room during an argument concerning gambling debts. That was a sign of things to come for Crittenton, who was later arrested in 2011 for the murder of Julian Jones, a 22-year-old mother of 4. Some of the things on here have been minor, but Arenas later served a month-and-a-half house for violating DC gun laws. The naturally gifted scorer, unfortunately, didn't score many points with the fan base at the latter period of his time in the nation's capital either. The back end of Gilbert's time in Washington was largely made up of him paying a ridiculous amount of money and seeing him in street clothes on the bench, supposedly injured. 3. Ray Allen, Boston Celtics. Before there was Steph and Curry, there was Ray Allen. Before Rajon Rondo was feuding with his Chicago Bulls teammates, he was fighting with Ray Allen when the two played together from 2007 to 2012. Alas, Allen left Boston for the Miami Heat, infuriating his Celtics fans and teammates, creating a grudge that still stands to this day. A key reason why Allen was not invited to the Celtics' 2008 championship reunion, as Rondo explained to Mark J. Spears of The Undefeated. "The mindset we had, the guys on our team, you wouldn't do anything like that. It makes you question that series in the finals. Who were you for? You didn't bleed green." I called and reached out to a couple of other vets and asked them what they wanted to do with the situation. They told me to stick with what we got, without Allen. Despite the hate, it's hard to say if Allen ever regretted swapping Boston for Miami, as he won an NBA championship in 2013 with the Heat. 2. Kyrie Irving, Boston Celtics. The most recent name on this list, ball-handling magician Kyrie Irving, is the most notably hated player by a franchise in today's NBA. In this instance, the Boston Celtics fans, who have appeared more than once on this list. Irving was traded to the Celtics from the Cleveland Cavaliers following a trade request, and his time in Boston was eventful, to say the least, as he said all the right things during his introductory press conference and showed glimpses of greatness that would keep the Celtics relevant and lead them to deep postseason success. Irving's performances and application to their franchise slowly and steadily faded. Despite this, he vowed to re-sign in free agency and claimed he wanted his jersey retired in Boston before going back on his word and signing with the Brooklyn Nets, with fellow star Kevin Durant in the summer of 2019. His former teammates in Boston may have forgiven him, but the Celtics crowd will never forgive Irving, that's for sure. 1. Rajon Rondo. Here, we have the player that has pissed off people every single stop he's been at: Boston, Dallas, Sacramento, and Chicago. For reasons that still remain unknown, playing alongside the alpha males that were the Big Three, experiencing the high of winning a championship on one of the greatest teams in NBA history, Rondo allowed himself to become a bad egg who caused problems wherever he went. Nothing, though, was worse than the end of his Dallas Mavericks career 2 years ago. Players determine how the team's playoff shares are divided. The players did not vote to exclude Rondo, the source said. They were simply presented with a list that did not include him, and there were no objections, ESPN's Tim McMahon reported in April 2015. Rondo is widely publicized as one of the most difficult players to suit up alongside in the league, and he has sourced his relationship with fan bases throughout his career.